So I'm out here at the Jackson home, the Hermitage, which they have as a museum in Nashville, Tennessee. In Jackson, for those that don't know, Jackson is pretty much the founder of the modern Democratic Party. Um, he started his fame probably in 1812. He was a general, of course. Um, in the War of 1812, which was the second war between America and the British. The British was actually doing pretty well. They had burnt down Washington D.C. and they had put an embargo around the coast of the United States. What ended up happening was Jackson was put in charge of a group of resistance in New Orleans at that time, 1812. I think Louisiana Purchase probably have around 1803. So that's pretty much means that that territory of Louisiana had only been in with the United States probably just around a decade, and it was pretty much uh, a French influence. For those that know much about New Orleans, with the being under French rule. So, what was so amazing about that was they were undermanned, and the British decided to invade. And Jackson, through this ragtag group of people, as they would say, French Creoles, free and enslaved blacks, you had Americans down there. It was pretty much a collage of different makeup of America at that time. Were able to defend against the British, which was quite funny because at this time, American and British were in the middle of making peace. So the peace had actually already begun in the War of 1812 at the Battle of New Orleans, but due to communication infrastructure back then, nobody told the people in New Orleans that. So they went and fought the battle, and Jackson won, and good for him because it brought him much fame, of which he rose to success to eventually become president of the United States. What's really interesting about Jackson is his old hickory character, this no nonsense, crap talking tough guy, famous for duels and assassination attempt happened on his life. He was able to survive and beat the man that tried to assassinate him with a stick. And also, pretty much this is the guy that I don't want to say eradicate, but definitely remove the natives out of Florida. Florida at the time was Spanish territory, but it was pretty much ungovernable. And the Indians down there, Cherokee Creek, they were offering a safe space. People escaped slaves down there. So it was kind of like a no man's land south of Georgia. So he was put in charge of going down there and putting that down, which he did. And eventually, under his presidency, led to the forced removal of the Native Americans in Florida out west, and what's known as the Trail of Tears. So I think this guy, Andrew Jackson, in Tennessee, he's big. And I think he's definitely underplayed on a national stage because you really don't hear too many people talk about him, because I think of his tart personality and being a slave owner and not being PC. But at the same time, even though I think Polk, which is one of his proteges, is probably one of the most effective presidents in American history, far more successful as far as growing and building the United States than General Jackson. But Jackson is called the Jacksonian era. Polk, Jackson, Van Buren, etc. So he really set the tone of a mentality, as well as bringing the power of America to the people. That was his brand. And I think that brand is still prevalent today. And ironically, I still think that brand is prevalent in the Democratic Party because the Republican Party is seen more as the party of business, and the Democratic Party is more of the seen more as the party of the everyday man. So I really don't think it's such a drastic mindset shift in that, but I do think this is when you look at cause and effect. Andrew Jackson in American history, I don't think there's been very few presidents, I'll put it that way. It's been very few presidents to embody what the United States is capable of and can do outside of Andrew Jackson. Strong-willed, determinist, popular, expansionist, and, for lack of a better phrase, and powerful. This was Tennessee, as you know, is pretty much in the eastern half of the United States. This was only tip of the iceberg of what would come in the coming years as far as American expansion going all the way out to Hawaii. So it started here. I won't even say it was started here. It flourished here in the Jacksonian era by Andrew Jackson. So you should definitely get out. If you want a piece of history, get out, come take a look at him. But definitely somebody that's underplayed, and definitely his records we paid attention to, and understanding why he was so successful in getting things done that he did. Signing off. Till next time, Bantu up.